Hi, it's Eric here with Serious Writing Tips. And today I want to talk about how to create an emotional attachment to your main character from the reader. So the way to do that is to let your main character have an opinion and emotional experience about every single thing that happens in the book, every event. And if you don't do this, what's going to happen is your events are going to fall flat, your incidents are going to fall flat. You could have 100,000 people die, and if the main character doesn't care about it, neither is the reader. It's going to sound like it's just the news, or it's a textbook description of what's happening. And that's not what you want to do. You want to build out the emotion and the opinions from your main character. So say, for instance, you have 100,000 people lose their jobs because the economy is down in your book. And okay, that's great, but how does the reader feel about that? Well, if your main character is, he's a 45-year-old guy, his wife is, she's got cancer and he's taking care of her and he's behind on his mortgage payments and he's been with this company for 25 years and all of a sudden the economy goes down and he loses his job. Well, he's going to have a huge opinion and emotional experience about how that affects him, and that's going to affect your reader too. So you need to make sure that you talk about that in your story. And the opposite can happen too. Maybe 100,000 people lose their jobs, but your main character is a banker and this actually is a good thing for him. Or maybe he's the CEO of a company and now he gives himself a bonus or something like that. And you know what? That's how you can take any event and kind of give an opinion on it. And like, say, for instance, your main character's best friend dies. And okay, well, that's sad. The reader can figure out that that's a sad event. But to take it to the next level, you need to have the main character have a really hard time with this. So if you wanted to approach it from a sad perspective, you know what, maybe your main character, he's been in love with his best friend for years and he never got to say, you know what, I love you to his best friend, and now she's dead and he can never say that. So he's going to be extremely emotionally distraught, and so is your reader. But maybe you can turn that same event around, and maybe that main character's best friend has actually been stealing from the main character this whole time, and there's been hints along the way, and through her death the main character actually learns how he's been taken advantage of and she was never really his friend. And so now your reader feels the exact opposite way. And so that's how you can really build out the emotion in your story, because every event that happens needs to be given an opinion on how the reader should perceive it. And the way you do that is through your main character. Your main character must feel an emotional or opinionated response to every incident that happens. Otherwise, the incidents that happen are just going to come across as kind of textbook descriptions of the news. So I hope that helps you when you're writing and thinking about how your main character interacts with all the events in your novel or short story or whatever you're writing. So thank you. That's all for today.